Hey guys, so I'm going to talk about making a mod for lefties. So I'm a lefty, and it's super disappointing. First Strike could have made this FSC completely compatible with left-handers by doing some very simple things from the factory, and they didn't. So first of all, the most obvious thing that I thought would be the problem would be the mag release. Now, in the past, I think for the older models, the T8.1 and the T9.1, they made a reversible mag release. Honestly, though, after I actually got the FSC, I think it sucks for all the righties. If you see here, if I was a lefty, I'd have to push it with my thumb, and in order to push it with the thumb, and I don't have small hands. I mean, I might not have big hands, but I certainly don't have tiny hands. And I completely have to change my grip. I gotta hold the gun like this to press the mag release for a lefty. So actually, for a lefty, this is my shooting grip. All I gotta do is that. With my index finger, get right back on the trigger, drop, trigger, drop. So actually, the right-handed mag release is perfect. So I actually don't want to change that, but I will show you how to change it. Maybe you're a righty. Maybe you want it switched to a left-handed mag release so it works for you. But then I realized what's even more important. FSC advertised, I think they called an ambidextrous safety, and that's extremely misleading. And I did make a mod to reverse this now to left-handed, but so just bear with me. I mean, this is the safety off because you're seeing the red, but when this came from the factory, this was this is safety on, and then a righty would just come up here, get in their shooting grip, and push it down with their, and then get on the trigger, and you're ready to go, like boom, boom. But for a lefty to turn the safety off, you literally have to use your other hand and push it this way. So it wasn't very ambidextrous. I guess they got away in their ads calling it ambidextrous because it's pushed on both sides, but the more important push is taking it off safety. That's the one you got to do on the fly. And so for a lefty, you'd have to use your other hand, and that's no good. So I will show you the mod that I did to fix that. So I've already removed the barrel, remove the mag, remove the barrel and the spring. All right, you remove the screws here and here. I've done that. All right, and then you remove these screws here. Okay. And you know, if you don't know how to do a pretty, this is, I guess this would be considered like a field strip of the gun. I mean, this is pretty simple takedown of the top half. All right, and then take it apart. All right, so we'll put that to the side. So now this is where it's so frustrating. So this is my mod. Now, first of all, let me just, what you do here is, okay, first of all, see here and here, okay? These are little provisions that were plastic molded into this piece of plastic. And that holds the factory spring here, okay? And that is for the safety. Now, all First Strike had to do from the factory was make these same pop-ups on this side. That's all they had to do, was mold it in. Very simple, probably wouldn't have cost them any money, no extra redesigning, just make a mirror image on this side. And that's all they would have had to do, and anybody could convert their safety to the other side. But they didn't do that, and it's very frustrating. So this is what I did. So let me take this off. So to take out the safety, you push down the spring. Okay, and then you pull out. There's the safety. And there's my modded spring. And I'll show you what I did here. And I'll just take this out. Okay, so that's my modded spring. All right. So normally what you would see is you would see this here. Okay, that's the normal spring. And then this would be the safety. You'd put it this way and see the cams here. These are the cams that run over that spring. And if First Strike just made the reliefs on the other side, all you had to do was switch this over, move the spring to the other side, and it would be left-handed, no extra parts. But they didn't do that. And while we're in here, we can see the mag release. Now, in terms of reversing the mag release, so again, you have the same exact spring. It's the same part number, by the way. They use the same spring, which is pretty cool. I'm trying to get in focus here. There we go. All right. But unfortunately, you can't use the mag release. You have to get a mirror image mag release made by somebody. Now, again, it would have been nice if First Strike just made one of these. I mean, these cost them $5. Well, they sell mag releases for $5. They should just offer a left-handed version. Even better yet, I'd go so far as they should have included a mirror image mag release in the box with the FSC. But they offer neither, and you got to get somebody to make it custom for you. But like I said, for left-handers, I think it's better to have it right-handed. So back here, all right, so what I did here was, okay, so since I didn't have those reliefs there, or maybe not reliefs the best term, but pop-ups or tabs, okay, holding the spring. First I had to fashion, so what I did here was, see here, I drilled a hole right here, okay, and that perfectly lines up with about the same side over here where this pin ends, over here. And then I drilled a hole into here, okay? So now I need a longer spring. I couldn't use a factory spring, even if I straightened it. So how did I make a spring? Well, I made this, and I used a large, just everyday safety pin. Okay, and you're gonna just have to make measurements and figure out. But so this is a safety pin, just a pretty typical safety pin. I took a safety pin, I unraveled it, I straightened it as much as I could using pliers. I made a 90-degree bend on this side. I had to bend this side, and I'll explain to you why in a second. But ideally, this would just be straight, and then you'd have your 90-degree bend. And this is, and I figure a safety pin is a spring. There's, you know, instead of just using a wire, you want to have a spring metal, a metal designed to be a spring so that it rebounds and goes back to its original shape. So I thought a safety pin would be a safe bet for that, since a safety pin is used as a spring. So to drill the hole, I bought this set off eBay. This is a micro drill set. I got a very cheap one. I didn't want to spend a lot of money. You get all sorts of drill bits. I apologize, I forget which one I used. You should really use a micrometer and measure it yourself. Maybe your safety pins are different. But this set came with a 0.9 and a 0.95 millimeter. I mean, that is small. So you got to buy this special. You can't go to the hardware store and find drill bits this small. So and both the slots are missing, and I think I broke one. I think I used a 0.95 millimeter one, but it might have been a 0.9 millimeter, I forget. But I think I use a 0.95 millimeter drill bit, which is, they're tiny drill bits. Now, the set comes with this hand drill, but this plastic is surprisingly hard. And this hand drill was doing nothing. So I did have to put the bit into my power drill, and I even put it on a high speed. Proceed with caution though, these bits will break. All right, so there's the 0.95 millimeter drill, less than 1 millimeter thick. So you want a slight thing. So the easy one was just drilling that hole right there. That's the easy one. Now, when it comes to this hole, all right, now if I prepared better, I would have bought an extension for the drill, because the drill is fat. But I got lazy, I didn't do an extension, so I had to drill the hole at an angle, and it's actually the wrong angle coming down. But that's the way I did it, and I compensated by bending the other side of my pin down. All right, so I think you got the idea of how I put this in. So, and then what you do is you push. Now you don't drill all the way through, and it pretty much goes through this stock. So you just drill enough. It's pretty hard to drill in this plastic, at least with these cheap eBay bits that I only spent a few dollars on. But you want to push that in, you know, just a little bit. And then I cut this pin perfectly so that this 90-degree angle pushes in this hole perfectly. Okay, so voila. It's basically a spring just like the other side now, and it's very sturdy. It's not going to fall out. It's not going to move anywhere. And then you can see here, the pin sticks through just a tad. You can cut that shorter if you want, but that makes sure it's not going anywhere. And then take your safety back. We're now putting it back in reverse. Okay. And there we go. So, yeah. Now this one does move back and forth. It's not as contained in these tabs, but it actually works pretty well. It's a little stiff, but you can work on bending that to get it perfect. All right, and there you go. And then we'll put this back. All right. Okay, and there it is. So here's my right hand. Okay, actually, well, let me show you my left hand. So you would store the gun, safety on, store it, okay? And then when you're ready to use it, grab the gun. That's my left hand. Fire, boom. No two hands. Now to put it back in safety, I gotta use my other hand. But that's okay, because you have all the time in the world to put a gun in safety. You want to be able to put in fire quickly. So that's my mod. You do got to get down and dirty a little bit with a drill, but it's possible. And maybe one day someone will 3D print. It's really just this piece of plastic here. The grip comes off, and then, you know, first strike. Really wish they would have made it. You know, all they had to do was add those plastic tabs on the other side. I mean, how did they not think of that? All right, thank you.